Tech and clips.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So a couple of weeks back, we did our first reaction to this band, Dogstar, band that has Keanu Reeves in there. Imagine my surprise, when I saw him, playing the bass. I thought, this man can actually do it all. One of the greatest actors to ever live, and playing the bass in a band, and they've been around for a while. I was blown away. So we did our first reaction, all in now, I think, yeah. And I loved it, So I saw this, I think earlier today, and I was like, okay, they have a new song out, a new video, so we might as well, watch it, listen to the song, and share my thoughts about it. So if you love them, make sure to smash the like button before we even get into this. Yes, Dogstar with the song Joy. Let's take a listen, guys. Yeah. Okay.
I see you on the other side of midnight.
Whoa, Keanu rocking over there.
It's never quite so clear.
Definitely looks like a bass player.
I know that I was leaving, but I was gone when my foot hit the floor.
Whoa. Yeah. Nice. This sounds good. Sounds really good.
And if I flew through the open door, it's only 'cause I knew it was time to go.
Whoa.
Wreckage that remains is just a dream, but it still lives
Yeah.
inside of me.
Whoa. Yeah. Nice. I love your sound. I definitely do love your sound, guys. Okay, taking a breather. We're definitely gonna build back up. I can feel it. Let's go. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow, the guitar. Solid, guys. Yeah. Whoa. All right, guys. Yeah, so that was a Dogstar with a song Joy. And based on a few facts that I pulled up, so they have a new album coming out entitled All In Now, which should be out May 29th. Wow. This should be good. Second reaction to the music. And I have to say that, going into the song Joy, by once again Dogstar, I mean, I didn't expect something that's introspective and emotionally layered, and I feel like that's what's really stood out, to me right away. I mean, the first thing that hits you, is the atmosphere. That opening guitar, has this dreamy, almost haunting quality to it. To me, it's not trying to grab you, with energy or flash. Definitely push you in slowly. And honestly, I feel like that restraint works in the song's favor. It definitely sets a tone that feels reflective, maybe even a little uneasy, like you are stepping into someone else's thoughts. Vocally, Brett Demrose, he kept things very, very grounded. There is no over singing here, no unnecessary runs, just a steady, honest delivery. And I think that's important because it definitely makes the message, feel more real. It doesn't feel, performed. To me, it feels expressed. The emotion, definitely sits just beneath the surface, instead of being pushed, in your face. And that subtlety to me, adds a lot more depth. Musically, the band, is super, super tight. In my opinion, you can definitely tell that this is a group, that's really, really locked in, with each other. I mean, the instrumentation is clean, but not sterile. There is still texture there. The bass, sits nicely in the mix. The drums, are controlled, and to me, everything supports the mood instead of competing for attention. To me, it's one of those tracks where less is actually more. And they understood that perfectly. Now, the interesting thing about Joy, is the contrast between the title and the actual feeling, of the song. I mean, to me, this isn't, a happy track at all. It leans more into, reflection, maybe even emotional confusion. It feels like, it's exploring, memories and relationships, or moments, that aren't as clear cut, as they once seemed. I feel like that kind of emotional ambiguity, is something a lot of people can actually connect with. As for the music video, it definitely complements the song really, really well, in my opinion. I mean, it doesn't try to over explain anything. Instead, it leans into the same mood, slightly abstract, a bit introspective, and I mean, just lets you sit with the feeling. I mean, and I definitely appreciate that, because sometimes less storytelling and more atmosphere actually makes a stronger impact. So yeah, after listening to the song, I mean, overall, this is a very, very mature sound from this band Dogstar. It doesn't feel like they are chasing trends or trying to prove anything. It feels like they are comfortable in their lane, focused on creating something genuine. And for me, that authenticity, is what makes this track work. It may not be the kind of song that hits you instantly, but it's definitely one that grows on you the more you sit with it. And those are usually the ones that last. I love the guys. I definitely look forward to checking out the new album. I mean, second song in, and I'm loving the band already. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this song. Let me know what you think about this band. Let me know if this band has other songs that you guys would love for me to check out. I'll be so glad to sit here and do just that. If you tune in, if you stuck with me to the end of the video, you are loved. You are very much appreciated on here. My name is Philip, and on to the next music reaction. Take care, stay safe, peace out.